let's get started. All right.
Hey.
Well, I'm Midnight, and this is Bucky, and welcome. We're so happy to have you here and to move with you this morning. We're up in the morning. It happened. We had some requests for morning classes, so here we are. We're gonna do a good morning mobility class. This is not a heavy workout. It's not to get your heart rate up. It's not to get your sweat on. It's so your body just feels good. Especially getting trapped inside, doing a lot of sitting, doing a lot of slouching, a lot of screen time, where we're gonna get really doing that. Whatever you're doing, we're probably a lot more prone to get stiff, to get tight, and to get hunched over. Really important to keep these movements going through our daily practice, trying to do them every day, maybe every other day, just as often as you can. It's gonna be a quickie, just a morning quickie today, so it's nothing too intense, nothing too crazy, but really important, really valuable for all of us to keep our bodies, our spines healthy, and our joints loose. You'll need, some books if you have some, or a yoga block if you have that at home. Maybe some of you do. If you don't have either of them, no problem, no worries. You don't have to have them. A mat, yoga mat, or towel, blanket, just something to lay down on the floor. If you do not want to lay down on the floor, then you'll be with me on a chair. Chair, make sure it's like a hard chair. It's not like a sofa chair. You want something sturdy and firm, something that's not going to slide on the floor, and preferably something as well that's sparkling. No, I'm just joking. Preferably something as well that maybe doesn't have any arms on the chair. Those just might get in the way. If you do have arms on the chair, you'll be able to work around it. So do what you can. We're all in it together, so we're just working at home.
And a big fan of grip socks. Keep you from sliding around if you've got hardwood floors. And it keeps your toes warm during the winter.
Yeah. We're in Chicago. It's always cold here.
That's it.
And modify if you need to. If your body is telling you it doesn't want to do something, listen to it. Do something else, or find your own variation. Find your own movement. Again, this is all about just feeling good. So pay attention to what your body's telling you, where it wants to go, where it wants to move, and honor that. If you have any ache in your lower back, just be aware of that. That usually means we let our core go, so we want to pull in that core really strong to help protect that lower back. Otherwise, just have fun.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Oh, yeah.
Good. Yeah.
All right, team.
I mean, we didn't practice that high five. We just nailed it on the
Natural
first
high
try.
five.
Natural high five, yeah.
Sitting down on your chair, you're on the chair, we're gonna perch your butt to the very edge of the chair. No slouching back here. Come all the way up front, lift the belly button, suck it in like you're trying to button up that last button after Thanksgiving, then lift it up towards the ceiling. That feeling when you're trying to pose for a picture or something, or maybe not, I don't know. I don't know your life, I only know mine. Draw the shoulder blades down the back and soften the jaw, lengthen through the crown of the head, that nice posture, vertical spine, open up through the collarbone.
And if you are on the mat, we're going to be in tall kneeling position. So on your knees, slightly wider than your hips. From here, the superhero pose, pulling in your belly button, squeezing your glutes, getting yourself upright, sternum reaching up to the ceiling, and your head is a helium balloon. Let it reach up higher, away from your shoulders.
Starting with the head. If you're on the floor, go ahead and actually go down to quadruped position, hands and knees. Working the head lifting back, then coming back stacked over the spine. So jut the chin out, reach the crown of the head, the top of the head, up and back behind you, and then come back to start. It's doing that backward tilt. We do a lot of downward hunching over positions. We're on our phone, we're sitting relaxed on our couch. We get that head, that forward head tilt thing going on. So we want to strengthen the muscles in the back of the neck and lengthen through the front of the neck. Help combat that. Take this into some easy head circles around. Rolling around, maybe spending more time in one area if it needs a little extra attention. Trying to lift up and over. Reaching the head longer as it circles. Circle other way. Now connect to your breath. Inhale deep, exhale deep. Keep the shoulders down. They might want to ride up to the ears. Don't let them. Keep drawing them down. Neck stays long. Imagine you're a turtle poking your head out of your turtle shell, taking a big look around. Head comes back to neutral, back to start.
Good. From here, if you're in quadruped, shake out your wrists and hands real quick, and back down to the mat. Hands underneath your shoulders, quadruped position, pushing your chest away from the floor. Arm circles. Inhale, lengthen your arm forward. Rotate it at the top. Exhale, down. Good. Repeat. Move with your breath. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Strong core. Pulling that belly button in. Stabilize on that hand. We got one more. And we're going to switch hands. Go in that same direction. We're going to switch hands to give arms a break. And inhale, extend. And exhale, back down and around. Again, inhale.
Make sure wherever you are, you're not moving your rib cage when you do this. Sometimes we let the ribs go, we let the stomach go so we can get a bigger swing of the arm. Keep everything knit in. Move your arm wherever you can. That may mean your circle looks like this. That's all right. You go to your range of motion. You go where your body is telling you its limit.
Back to the original arm. Now we start by extending your arm back first and rotate that direction. And bring it forward, down. Good. Inhale back. Exhale around. And back. And exhale. You're in quadruped. You're looking slightly in front. Keeping that neck engaged in the back. Now we're pulling your head back. Not letting it droop down. One more. And switch arms, starting with extending back. And extend back. Inhale. Exhale around. Good. Repeat. Mobilizing that shoulder joint.
Shoulders get really tight as well. Doing that overhead reach can be really hard for some people. So again, you take it where you need to, but also a little red flag, a little indicator that doing things like this is really good for you, and you might need a little bit more of it in your daily practice.
And finishing up here, bringing your hands down. Good. If you are in quadruped, again, give yourself a little bit of shake out in your wrists, upper body, let your shoulders shake out. Maybe a little burning. Good. Like in my birdies today. All right.
Hands on your knees, going into cat-cows or into your full quadruped position. Cat, pull the belly button in, round the spine, draw the belly button back behind you. It's like you're rounding your body over a giant orb. Cow, lengthen the tailbone back, bring the heart, the sternum forward, shoulder blades roll down the back, lift up against, stretch through that neck.
What was that?
What's that word? And back into your cat, around the spine. This is called the cat because it's like you're an angry cat hissing. Rounding that spine like that Halloween cat. Then lengthen the spine, this is a cow, so like you have that nice long spine, a little bit of that arch in the back, and keeping the belly drawn in. Move through this one more time. You can always go faster if that feels better to your body. It's not about getting the heart rate up, it's not about moving fast, it's really just waking up the joints and pressing, pulling, challenging to your limit. Into what I call your disco poodle. Go to your cat position, bring the rib cage over to one side, let it circle around into your cow position, around to the other side to your cat position. So you're making a big circle with your rib cage. Yeah. Got Disco Poodle from Frequent Flyers Aerial Dance when I was with them in Boulder, Colorado. Shout out, holla. Go the other way. I also, when doing cat-cows, would make my students make noises, animal noises. So, you know, your choice if you want to.
What's the sound of a disco poodle?
It's whatever you think. Every disco poodle's different. It's gonna sound a little different. Depends on how your disco poodle parties. Go back into your cat position and sit yourself all the way up. And find that nice long posture, head reaching up towards the ceiling.
Go ahead and shake out your wrists. If you are prone to having pain in your wrists, you can always take it into fists, having that in this position here. Right on the mat. Option. Alright, so we're going into T-spine rotation. Remember, take your right hand, reach your right hand to the back of your head. Bring your bent elbow towards your extended elbow. And bring that up and twist, and reach down, elbow to elbow. And reach, open up, reach, look behind you, and repeat.
This is a good one. As Bucky keeps going, let me show you where you can grab onto your books if you're sitting and put your books in between your knees. This is a good reference. You don't want the books to move. That makes sure your hips stay still as you're rotating. So I'm not letting my hip shift. I'm not letting the book slide. I'm squeezing your thighs together, engaging through those abductor muscles.
And last one. And switch hands. Elbow to elbow. Reach behind you. You may notice one side feels tighter than the other. Reach, look behind. If you're in quadruped, you're looking up to the ceiling, opening that chest.
Rotate the spine, so good, so healthy. Get that spine moving in all directions, but not a movement we do usually in our everyday that we probably should.
2 more. Last one. And rest. Again, if you're in quadruped, shake out your wrists. Roll your wrists in between each of these exercises.
You're actually going to stay up at tall kneeling if you're down on the mat. If you've got those books, set them off to the side. Bring your legs out wider. Lateral means side bend. Elbow down, forearm down on your thigh. Other hand reaches up towards the ceiling, trying to keep the bicep glued towards the ear, shoulder down. Reach over like you're making a big rainbow shape with your body. Drop this opposite hip down, feel a big stretch in the side body here. Bring the top arm up towards the ceiling. Palm faces the same way as you. Back of the hand reaches behind you. Shine the heart up towards the ceiling and bring it back. Pressing back and forward. Again, your range of motion, your mobility will be different. Don't judge it, just honor it. Trying to spiral, reach back, open up, stretching these muscles right here that again get really tight, get forward roll with all of the typing, hunching, sitting that we do. Bring it over to the other side. You can either go straight up or roll it through the center if that feels a little bit more accessible to you. Come up to tall, seated first, then drop down the forearm, bicep by the ear, drop the shoulder down, lengthen through the spine, reach up and over. Check in with your belly button. A lot of times when we do side body work, we just let the belly hang out. Lift it, suck it back in again. You have that imaginary corset, tight pair of pants on. That last button still needs to stay buttoned.
If you're in tall kneeling, go ahead and make sure your glutes are squeezing so we're not dumping into the lower back.
Top arm reaches towards the ceiling. Press the hand back behind. Spiral the heart towards the ceiling. And back to start. Pressing back. Lift. Keep breathing. Opening up those joints. Having them say good morning. Freeing them up for the rest of the day. Good, bring it all the way back up or roll it towards the center. Roll yourself back up again.
All right, moving into hip flexor stretch. If you're on the mat, half kneeling position, half kneeling, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Squeeze your glute, pull in your belly button, lengthen that hip flexor.
You're on the chair, same position. One butt cheek is on, my other butt cheek is kind of half and half on. Knee still points down underneath you. Make sure the knee is not in front of the hip. You're trying to push that back knee behind you. Reach the toes, wiggle the toes back behind. Press this hip forward, sink into it by tucking your imaginary tail in between your legs. That's what's going to really stretch this out.
If you need more stretch, lengthen that downside arm up to the ceiling and reach just a little bit. It doesn't take too much. Remember, keep those glutes engaged. And from here, arms down. Let's switch sides. I'm going to face forward so you see what it looks like from this angle. All right, glutes are squeezing, pulling in your core, lengthening that hip flexor. And again, if you like the variation, reach your arm up to the ceiling. I like to grab the wrist and just kind of like lean together. Keep that glute engaged. Remember, we're not stretching into the hip. Keep that glute squeeze. We're going to lengthen through this side into the hip flexor, maybe a little bit into those lats as well. Breathe.
Someone's pulling your knee down. You're on the chair and pulling your arm overhead, that oppositional force. I know my hip flexors have been getting extra tight because I've been sitting down more with all of what's been going on lately. So open up the front of the hip. So good for us. Ooh, almost there, team. If you're on the mat, lay all the way down onto your stomach. Hands go by your side. Sit up tall. Roll the shoulders up towards your ears, back and down the spine. Pull the shoulder blades a little bit further. Reach up through the sternum. Open it through the collarbone. That little back extension, back arch. We are not arching in our lower back. Keep the belly tight. Mid-back from around that like bra line, for those who know where that is, up. You're lifting up from there. Draw the belly button in, suck it in, pull the shoulders down. If you need assistance for your head, clasp the hands behind the neck, open up the elbows, nice wide box pose. If you need a little extra spice down below, reach the arms overhead, Superman position. Returning back to start. Two more a little bit faster. Reaching up through the heart, opening up through the collarbone, and down. If you want to do more reps of any of these, you can. Just hit the pause button. Do more. You can always use more of these. And release.
All right, we're going to finish with a little bit of breathing. Make sure that we're breathing correctly throughout the day. So if you're in tall kneeling, make sure you're squeezing your glutes, lengthening the hip flexor. Keep that chest up so you're able to expand through your ribs and belly. All right, so from here, spread your fingers, placing your fingers on your ribs and belly at the same time. You should feel everything expand, not just your ribs, not just your belly. So from here, take nice, slow, deep breaths in. And make it a longer exhale than your inhale. Good. Everything should be expanding. So the trick with this, relax your abdominals. Focus breathing into your lower abdominals. And one more deep breath. Good job, everybody. Thank you, Bernie, again. If you feel good.
That's good. My traditional ending is fluffing aura. Bucky's traditional ending is going to be doing that.
Put it in your body.
Whatever you end up doing for the rest of the day, I hope that this gave you a little more little more energy, a little more flow, a little more breath to it. A reminder as well, check us out on YouTube. If you are on our YouTube right now, remember to subscribe. Please follow us, check us out on our other social medias as well. We have more classes coming up every single weekday, and we're going to continue that on next week too, because we all got to keep moving, we all got to keep connected, and keep motivating each other. So we hope that you join in. Thank you so much. Share, like, let us know in the comments if you have any requests or how this went for you. We really appreciate everyone, and have a good rest of your day.
Have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Great job. Good
Nice.
job.
Well done,
Nice
sir.
job. You too, guys. Good job. Guys and gals, people,